Positively Spiritual. My name is Shannon Gilmore. Just gotta plug in the phone. You know how that goes. Oh. Gotta make sure everything's plugged up. So hang on a second here. Gotta make sure we got our battery going. Okay. There, plugged in. There we go. Did I say plugged up? No, I meant plugged in. I don't know why I said plugged up. All right. Here we go. Now we're cooking with heat. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. It is so nice to see you. Welcome to Positively Spiritual. My name is Shannon Gilmore. Hello, Resister. So today we're going to talk about the one thing about narcissists. As you never know who they truly are. That's what I want to talk about. You never know who you're dealing with when you're dealing with a narcissist. You never know what you're getting. Life is like a box of chocolates. Oh, sorry. I can't even, you know what? We can't even quote those movies anymore because of what is coming out, because of the narcissists. They freaking ruin everything. And see, that's, I'm gonna sideline note here for a second. The narcissist attaches everything, like they attach themselves to everything that you hold dear, find nostalgic, find sentimental, so that every time you go to that nostalgic thought or that sentimental feeling or that item that you hold of sentimental worth, guess who's imprinted on that? The narcissist. So you are then holding onto the memory, and that's how they make themselves, that's how they memorialize themselves in your life, even though they're not around anymore. They memorialize themselves through trinkets, through situations, through favorite restaurants, through favorite, get-togethers and trinkets and things of value that hold sentimental value to you. Because when you think upon these things, when you look upon them, there they are. You can't think about these things without remembering the narcissist. So we've got to go scorched earth on everything. Our movies, our songs, we got to go scorched earth on everything. Hello, Diane. It's so nice to see you. Hello, girlfriend. Hello, sister. So, hello, Mr. Osgood. How you doing? Nice to see you. It is so good to see everyone today. So we're going to talk about the one thing about narcissists that you never truly know who they are. And because this is where God talks about us, where we shouldn't be unevenly yoked, God tells us that we must not be unevenly yoked. What does that mean? Think about motive here. Hello, Jeanette. Nice to see you. Hello, Slot Machine. How you doing? Oh, definitely a Jew, right? Who you talking about? Anyways, we don't slander people except for we call out the narcissist, and that's not slander. That's just telling the truth about the narcissist. So, anyways, everyone, welcome to the channel. So, here's the deal. When you are dealing with a narcissist, they may look like you, they may talk like you, they may act like you, to lead you to believe that their motive is just like yours. And that's when Jesus says that we must not be unevenly yoked, that's exactly what Jesus is talking about. Because saying that you love Jesus and showing that you love Jesus, we know are two different things here. So, hello, Dehan Ra. I don't know how to say your name, but Dehan, I'm going to say hello, Dehan. Nice to see you. Welcome. So, that's the thing. When we are looking into getting involved with a relation, getting involved in a relationship with the narcissist in some way. We are going by how they make us feel. And isn't that Psychology 101, that people don't remember what you did, they remember how they made you feel, right? So that's how we base a narcissist is good peeps, fist bump, high five, hugs, bring it in. They're good peeps because they make us feel good. That's where we went wrong. That's the smoking gun. That's what psychology needs to be talking about, and it's not. Red flag this, red flag that. Love bombing this, love bombing that. Healthy boundaries. You know, psychology is dodging the main issue. And the main issue is the narcissist is superficial, so all they can do and give is superficiality. And that's what we see, and that's what we feel. And because the narcissist makes us feel good, we comply. Yes, come into my life. And then when they don't make us feel good, we excuse their behavior, not because we didn't see the red flags, but because we are needy and we need to feel good. Oh, but they made me feel good here yesterday, so they can do that again, so I'll just put up with this. We are not martyrs for this feel good, whatever it is we're seeking. So that's it. What are you talking about? We're talking about narcissists. Hello, addict, Addy or Adit? Add it. Okay, I'm just gonna call you that. Adit. How you doing? Nice to see you. You guys are coming in with long names, and I'm wearing the wrong shirt, so white on gray is hard to see in small print. Yeah. So it makes me nervous to compliment people or even smile. You know what? Be yourself. Just call me Addie. Hi, Addie. Nice to see you. Addie sounds good. Addie just rolls off the tongue. Addie sounds like inviting. So I like that. Hello, John from South Africa. Hello, nice to see you. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. So let me just give a short introduction to myself for those of you who do not know me. Hello, my name is Shannon Gilmore, and I am a peer support mentor. What is a peer support mentor? I'm kind of like a therapist, but I don't tell you what to do. I don't sit there and analyze you and prescribe medication. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician. I'm not a clinician. I have just been trained in how to listen and how to communicate. And and I've been trained how to help you come to an understanding about yourself that you might not be seeing. So if you guys need to talk, if you need to vent, if you need to sort some sort of emotion out, I'm here to help you. You can sign up for a one-on-one mentorship. The link is in the description and also in the chat. Resistor is our moderator, so if you have comments or questions and you need, attention to something, or if you need, my attention, you can go to him or just say a hi. So hello, Neem, how you doing? Hello, everyone. Wow, we're getting some new people coming in here. This is awesome. So I started this channel a while ago, a long time ago, and it started out to help women. It started out to just help women, figure things out. A lot of us women, feel burnt out by giving to our spouses, giving to people and not getting anything in return. And then I had problems in my marriage that I could not ignore. So my friend scooted me off a book about psychopathy, about the psychopath. That changed the direction of this video channel. And so we are a support system to men and women and elderly and the young who are going through narcissistic trauma and dealing with narcissists and made to feel lesser, we're here to help. And so that's what we do. And we look at the psychology, we look at the scientific, but we also make it known. This has to be, Jesus is first. We are a Christian channel, non-denominational. We love Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. We believe in that he shed his blood for us, died on the cross for our sins, and on the third day rose through the power of the Holy Spirit and the blood as a witness. So what we're here is to, use psychology as far as we can use it, but also we are here to pick out the truth. And sometimes the truth, when we look at psychology, does show that psychology can be wrong. It is a man-made concept, for goodness sakes. Psychology just picks apart our inner man. And we do that also with Jesus. We use the Bible. And we've gone through the month of January. We went through the book of Matthew, and it took a month. And we were here twice a day on lives for about an hour or two. Every day, twice a day for a month. That's how long it takes to study the Bible. And we came out running, right? We came out, I can say, with a depth of knowledge that I've never known before. I certainly feel different. So check out our lives. Check out the videos on this channel. Check out the podcasts. We're here for you. So, Hello, Nikki. How you doing? So today we're going to be talking about, narcissism. And, the thing about them is that you never know who they are. As Jesus tells us that we must not be unevenly yoked. Now, unevenly yoked, I know for me, it meant that, I can't unevenly yoke with a non-Christian. Like I can't, be friends with a non-Christian, or be influenced by a non-Christian, or even marry a non-Christian. That's what I thought. But no, God is talking, Jesus is talking about the motive of the heart. As we have learned that narcissists are superficial, and that's all they can show. And so what you see is basically what you don't get. They only show us what they're capable, like what they give us right off the bat, the love bombing, the flattery, the niceties, just everything that we've ever wanted in a relationship, whether it be platonic or romantic. We get what we want at the beginning. But in regular, normal relationships, we just take people at face value, and we work up to a relationship with them that is mutually satisfying and mutually gratifying. But the narcissist is like, go big or go home. With the narcissist, it's like they're showing us the everything but the kitchen sink all at once. And like I said earlier on in this video, the narcissist gives to us what we think we want, what we actually need, and what we want. But the narcissist hooks us, come here, by giving to us little substance, but we think it's worth gold. They're giving to us what we want to feel. The narcissist makes us feel good. So we're all wrapped up in our feelings and we don't even know it. And they lure us in. Come on, I'll make you feel good. I'll make you feel worthy. I'll make you feel, that you're on top of the world. I'll make you feel enchanted. I'll make you feel like there's nobody else in this world that is in comparison to you. Hello, Frankie. How you doing? God gave them a lobotomy. Absolutely. They're wicked people. Hi, Jim. Jim, sorry. Hi. Nice to see everyone. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. So, the one thing about narcissists is that you never know who they truly are. You have to experience it. You have to experience them to know who they truly are. Because, hello, Pan, nice to see you. I can see your comment. Yes, hello, nice to see you. So, at the end of the relationship, when you give the relationship that you had with the narcissist some thought, well, we are left with so many questions. And those questions we are left with because we never got a chance to know who the narcissist was. See, when you're in a secure relationship, you know that you're loved. You know that you're respected. You know that you're wanted and needed. You know that you're desired. You know that you're a good person. Like somebody actually finds you funny. Somebody actually finds you worthy of sticking around with. Yeah, when you have that good relationship, you know. But with the narcissist, they make us feel good. So because we feel good, therefore we think we must be good. So these questions are the telltale marker that lets us know we never knew the narcissist and they never knew us. Well, they probably knew us better than we knew ourselves, because they naturally hit us in our weak points. Narcissists love themselves above all. Yeah, and see, that in itself is a conundrum, because the new science about narcissism, as this is what, many of us have always thought, but it kind of puts to bed what the DSM-5, the Diagnostical and Statistical Manual of Psychology, suggests, that narcissists love themselves too much. How can that be if they don't have empathy? If they're incapable of loving you, how can they love themselves? That doesn't make sense. Love is all inclusive. So here's the thing, the truth is, the narcissist, they are overcompensating. And there's no filter. There's just two extremes. There's no middle ground with the narcissist. So they're overcompensating for the lack of love that they have for themselves and for life and for people. They're self-loathing and they're hiding that. So, yeah, you nailed it, Shannon. They say the quiet parts out loud. She even said, I know you better than you know your own self. Wow, they definitely are great at hitting below the belt. Exactly. I've had that said to me too. And he barely, he just, what they're trying to say is, I know you're kind. I know you're kind. You're kind is easy to manage, easy to manipulate, you're so naive and stupid. I know you're kind. And we're not naive and stupid. We are just loving, unconditionally loving people. This is what makes us divine. We are of the divine, and that's our nature. We cannot change. Even when they do the worst of the worst of the worst to us, they cheat on us, discard us, they abuse us physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever they do, we still try to find a way to forgive them. They all say they got your back. Yeah, my kindness. Please don't call me honey. I'm not a bee. I'm not a bee. I don't, yeah, never mind. All right. So we ask questions at the end of the relationship. Did they love me? Did they know me? Maybe I didn't know them. Like, did they ever know me? Like, there's so many questions. And bouncing balls again. So we come out of the relationship with so many questions, and it's, in my view, is like, it's because we're asking these questions. If we have to ask these questions, and we do, in order to try to find some sort of balance or some sort of closure, the fact that we're asking questions, can we please stop bouncing the basketball? Sorry. It's just right above me, like right here. Their couch is right there. So never mind. Anyways, so at the end of the relationship, we're asking all these questions, and it's the fact that we have to ask these questions is because we never knew them. Well, they never knew us. But yes, we did know them. I'm going to say that. They did know us. As, like I said, they know our kinds. We're loving people. We have familiar patterns of behavior, just like the narcissist has familiar patterns of behavior. They knew about us. We didn't know about them. That's the difference. And now we know about each other. So thank you, Jesus. It's quiet. So we knew who they were. We just were not paying attention because we were looking for what we wanted to see in them. We wanted to feel good about ourselves. And that's the point. We wanted to feel good about ourselves. And nobody told us that in order to feel good about yourself, you have to look within. You have to find Jesus. You have to look inwardly to have a relationship with yourself. If you don't love yourself, how can you love Jesus? Because these two commandments of Jesus Christ go hand in hand. They work off of each other. They're nested commandments that need one another. Just like our Bibles have nested insight within insight, parables, this is it. Our two commandments that the Lord rests on is love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. And the second is like it, love your neighbor as yourself. So unconditional love is universal. If I give unconditional love to myself, I've got to give it to you. And if I give it to you, I've got to give it to myself. And if I give it to myself, if I give it to you, I'm giving it to God. And if I give it to God, I'm giving it to myself and giving it to you. This is how love does not change. This is how love is not judgmental. So at the end of the relationship, when you give it some thought, this is why we are left with so many questions, because we never got to know who the narcissist was, as we were just looking for acceptance from other people so that we could feel good about ourselves. Did you hear that? See, the narcissist gets into a relationship with us because it's all about them. And we get into a relationship with the narcissist because it's all about us. That's not unconditional love. Unconditional love is I'm getting into a relationship with you because I care about you. Yes, but I have love in me to offer you, to help you become a better person if that's what you want to do with my love. If you use my love to challenge you, to help you grow, that's great, because the love that you give me, I'm going to accept it and I'm going to use it to help me grow. And together, we enhance each other. I'm not getting into a relationship with you because I need something from you. See, this is what it means to work on ourselves. When we know who we are, we recognize that we are somebody before the relationship. We are somebody who doesn't need to gain love from a relationship, because we have a relationship with ourselves. We have a relationship with God within. So we're good. However, I'm getting into a relationship with you because of love. Because love grows, love protects. We get into relationships for other people, not for ourselves. And the benefit of loving other people for them, we love people for God, and we love other people because of God. We love other people for the person we're loving, to help them grow, to help them see the love of God. And that automatically gets reciprocated, and we absorb the love that's in them to give with no conditions. It's not, you don't love me enough. I remember going to God, and I used to tell God in prayer, you know what? My husband, my ex-husband, I used to tell God, I love him more than he loves me. I used to tell God all the time. God, I love him more than he loves me. And that was pretty sobering. But sitting here with you guys today, yeah, I loved him so that I could get his love to help me feel better about myself. That's why we go to God. Hello, Andrea. Nice to see you. That's why we go to God. That's why God needs to become first in our lives. It's because we cannot get love from other people, because the love from other people, love from worldly people, can never, it dries up. It can never satisfy. So, if we are getting love from God, if we are loving ourselves, and this is the ideal thing. If we start becoming self-aware, and we start appreciating ourselves and start loving ourselves the way that God loves us, then what happens? We have all this love in us to give. And it can't just rest with us. It's got to go out there. And our love does. The thoughts that we think, the feelings that we feel, if we're on our own, we're feeling appreciative. We're feeling, God's glory. We're like jamming with God. Yeah, God, and we're just good in prayer, going for walks, driving our cars, just happy-go-lucky. That is what sets the world stage and helps other people, as our thoughts become inspiration in feeling and thought for other people. But say, this happiness is going to attract other happy people, right? So what does that do? If I attract you guys into my life because I'm happy and I've got God in my life and I love him and you love God, then what happens? That love is expanding. That love is growing between us. That love is nurturing us. as, like from my perspective, love from God may be different. So I give that to you. And from your perspective, the love of God may be different. So you give that back to me. And we're reciprocating and we're growing that love and we're appreciating and we're becoming solid. Hi, Cynthia. How you doing? Nice to see you. So I want to say this, and it may hurt, but you know what? It's spoken in love that we get into relationships with narcissists because of how they make us feel. They make us feel good. And the reason why they make us feel good is because we are missing something inside ourselves that we're not yet seeing. We're using the narcissist as an excuse to avoid ourselves. And what ends up happening is at the end of the relationship, we no longer can avoid ourselves. We're asking the questions. Why did they do this? Why did they do that? Did they ever love me? Did they love their supply more than me? Did they ever love me at all? Did they even care? These questions we go searching inside ourselves for. So we did know the narcissist. We did know who they were. We were just not paying attention because we were looking for what we wanted to see. We were looking for all those things that the narcissist did to us and for us that were positive, because those things that were those things that they said they did were things that made us feel good. So were we looking for love? Yes. But we were looking to them to give us permission to love ourselves. If I feel good, therefore I'm good, therefore I can accept myself. Now, our natural inclination is unconditional love. So we were looking for love from them, but see, we were loving ourselves conditionally. And we were loving them conditionally. It was when they made us feel bad, we tapped into unconditional love in order to love ourselves. Every time the narcissist did something nasty to us, what did we do? We cried, we felt sad, we felt bad about ourselves, but we would go against the grain and we'd give it some thought. I'm worthy. Why is he treating me like that? Why is she saying that to me? I'm worthy. I don't deserve that. But we'd say that, but we wouldn't stand up for ourselves. So God was actually showing us how unconditionally loving natures can be applied to ourselves first. But see, love, unconditional love is protecting. Unconditional love does stand up and say, you can't do that. You can't disrespect me. But we didn't know that. We just thought we were unconditionally loving them, and we were. Because if we stopped loving the narcissist, that would mean we would stop. We would have to let go of ourselves and abandon ourselves and risk being abandoned. So we would rather feel the pain inside the relationship than have to face the fact that somebody makes us feel bad. Because if we see, here's the real thing. This is deep. This is going back to your childhood nature. When you were a toddler, your parents made you feel bad, or they didn't make you feel bad. It's just that, okay, I use this example. If mommy came into the room and she had a scowly face, she could have been on the phone to her boss. She could have been fighting with your sibling. She could have been fighting with your dad. She could have had some disparaging news, whatever it was. But you as a toddler were not self-actuated yet, actuated. And so you still had this idea in your brain that everything you encountered was in association with you. So your mommy scowled, that that like you identified yourself with your mommy. So everything in your outside environment was part of your identity. So this is why you hung on to that blankie or that, little soother, or a favorite truck, Tonka truck, a favorite toy. You had maybe a stuffy or whatever. These things didn't just make you feel safe, they were what made you happy. And so because they made you happy, you identified them, you identified these things as being you. Therefore, your Tonka truck, your toy, your blankie, your little, soother, these things all made you feel good. So if they made you feel good, that must mean you are good. So if your mommy comes into the room and she's scowling at you, it must be because you're bad. She's scowling because you're bad. So we haven't yet matured. Some of us, when we get into these relationships with narcissists, we haven't yet matured and separated ourselves from other people, and we're still identifying ourselves with other people. So when the narcissist makes us feel bad, therefore we must be bad. So if they make us feel good, therefore we are good and we can accept ourselves. So we were looking for love, but we were not taught unconditional love. We were taught conditional love. So we were looking for kindness and compassion, yes, but it was filtered through, you make me feel good, therefore you must be loving. You make me feel good, therefore you allow me to accept myself. We traded our parents for the narcissist, or somebody in position of power for the narcissist. And the only person who should have position of power over us is Jesus Christ. He made us. And yet, because we come from our parents, we think that, there are gods. I mean, when you think about it, a toddler, an infant, is totally dependent on their parent. So yeah, we treat our parents like they are gods, because essentially they are. We don't know any better. We worship them. We, depend on them for everything. And then when it comes time for us to, marry and have relationships of our own, we then, pass the torch on to the narcissist. So we assumed that there must be a reason for the narcissist to do what they did. We couldn't just think that, they just, this is who they are. This is, they just cheat, they scheme, they lie. No, there has to be a reason. There, there has to, and so therefore we make a reason. I'm the reason. You're the reason. We're the reason why the narcissist cheats. I wasn't a good enough spouse. How was I not but we don't talk about that to the narcissist. Let me talk about why you cheated, Mr. Narcissist. Here's what I know. I gave you everything of me. I gave all of me. I was 100% invested. Even when I wanted to stay in bed during my times of headaches and cramps, and I was still putting out. I was still doing the laundry, still cooking meals, still doing yard work, still cleaning house, still looking after our children. While you went off to work, I appreciate that. Didn't spend the paycheck. Spent the money on the bills. I was responsible. I showed you everything, Mr. or Mrs. Narcissist, that I was responsible, and I showed up to this relationship. No, we don't have those conversations with the narcissist. They cheat on us. We feel the hit of that, and we retreat into, I must be wrong. I must have done something wrong. I'm not good enough. I'm bad. We're not allowing the narcissist to take responsibility for their actions. Instead, we take the responsibility. Why they spend the life savings in the bank account, it must be me. Maybe they may, I wasn't good enough. They had to spend all their money on a mistress or somebody else, or taking trips without me. Oh, they don't want to be with me. Oh my gosh, it's got nothing, their behavior has nothing to do with you. Their behavior has everything to do with them. And we let their behavior slide in the relationship, trying to work it out. Some of us have ignored their behavior, hoping that it would get better. That's a gaslight. Because we could not face the fact that if the narcissist, and we knew that the narcissist didn't want to be in the relationship anymore, but we couldn't let them go. So we only see in the relationship what we are looking for. We could only ever see what we wanted to see, and when we didn't, we made up a reason to avoid the truth. See, when you grow up believing, or you adapt to a belief that you are unlovable and that you are the reason why bad things go wrong, this is what you take into your relationships. And then you attract that to prove yourself right. Okay. Now I can hear some of you guys saying, hold the phone, wait a minute, back this up, Shannon. You're blaming me. Are you saying that this is my fault? I'm saying that we attract the narcissist because of who we are to ourselves. And this is against our knowledge. Because I'm going to try to explain this. Some of you guys already know where I'm going with this. But since we have new people on this channel, welcome everyone. Nice to see you. Our brain, our nervous system houses 5 electrical patterns. And scientists have named them the alpha, the beta, the delta, the gamma, the theta brainwave. When we are growing up, when we are toddlers, when we are infants, when we are young children, there is one brainwave that is ruling everything. It's just kind of think of this brainwave, the theta brainwave, as a filing system. So it holds a record of all your responses, your feelings that you reacted to. Like if you had a situation, the theta brainwave would keep a record of the feelings that you used in that specific situation. So over the course of 7 years, from birth to age 5 to 7, this theta brainwave would accumulate, and it doesn't filter what is right, what is wrong, what is fantasy or reality. It's just recording and filtering, or keeping record of and accumulating all of your responses, whether you cried, whether you laughed, whether you got angry. All these responses to specific stimuli are recorded on this brainwave. And so when you're about 5 or 7, this brain wave still remains, even now as your adulthood, It still remains dormant, but now it's like at age 5 to 7, it just kind of sits there in the background. So now your alpha and beta brain waves are taking over, where you're becoming consciously aware of your environment. So science now knows that the patterns of behavior that you had when you were a child are what create your character that you have now. And you're not aware of this because these memories of how you reacted when you were little are now in the background. They're still in this filing system of the theta brainwave, but it's kind of, there's the door shut. You have to go into the underpinnings of your mind, the nether regions of your mind, and you can't access that through your conscious thinking. You can't access that filing system through your conscious thinking. It comes through meditation and deep contemplation. You know, it's those Freudian slips that we have, that's your subconscious leaking out. But your subconscious still makes decisions for you 8 times quicker than you consciously can decide for yourself. So your theta brainwave is constantly using your neurons in the back of your brain, your reticulated activating system. You are constantly thinking, unknowingly thinking about the things that you reacted to when you were young, based on the experiences that you experienced. And your theta brainwave is scanning the area and scanning your environment and trying to bring those energetic patterns to you, to which you will then react to. Again, your brain doesn't keep score of what is right, what is wrong, what is fantasy, what is reality. That's for you consciously to determine. And since we're running on autopilot, we are unknowingly attracting the narcissist. You yourself, you know, you will be able to, if you give this some thought, you will be able to compare the narcissist based their behavior of you based on behavior that initially hurt you and traumatized you. For me, I was attracting male narcissists that mirrored my mom and also my dad. I never knew my dad, so I was attracting narcissists that would abandon me, that would, you know, leave me out of things, that wouldn't invite me to places, that were very secretive, and that would accuse me of, you know, doing things. As my dad was that. And my dad was also a violent man. I found that out later. And so I attracted men who were violent. And my mother, an alcoholic, and she was violent too, so I attracted that as well. Drug addicts and alcoholics, secret alcoholics. So I had to figure that out. And once I did, I could see a pattern in every single narcissist that I have ever met and got into a relationship with, platonic or romantic, and it all goes back to my childhood. So, you too, Cynthia. Yeah. See, there was a witness that my dad threw my mother down the stairs when she was pregnant with me. And so I was a premature baby. And I had lung problems, so I developed asthma. So I couldn't figure out for the life of me why I don't like lying, but I became a liar when I was a kid. You know, I had all this trauma. My foster parents weren't helping me through that, and I would lie to get out of trouble, right? So because I was scared of being sent back or to foster care or whatever. But the point is, I would always do, like if I suspected somebody lying to me, I would always investigate. I wouldn't necessarily tell them, but I'd like find out like, aha, I've been lied to. And I would always have this thing of this black cloud around me saying, I'd tell myself, I'm not the lie. I'm not a liar. And I would always have to try to prove to the narcissist, because the narcissist would accuse me of things. Well, I found out the pattern for that, and we've talked about this before, as our pattern of behavior starts in the womb. Well, when I was pregnant with my mom and dad had a huge fight, and there was a witness for this. And traumatizing my sister. Oh my goodness, because my sister witnessed this. So when my mom and dad, they were fighting, and they were fighting over me, as my mom just blurted out a lie that I was not his. So he got so mad that he went to go and get his gun. So I developed a fear for guns, and I developed a fear, and this was from the womb, that even God did not love me. I had a fear from the womb of being rejected by my father, my dad, and I projected that onto my Father in heaven. So that's why it took a long time for deliverance and a long time for healing, because I'm still, like, even saying this to you guys out loud, I'm seeing this on a deeper level, that okay, now I can address why my faith is just, I'm there, but I pull it back. Because I have projected that pain onto God, and most of us do that. And our wounds that we receive from in the womb, we don't know. We don't have an experience that we can consciously figure out, but the feelings there, and a lot of our feelings are not our own. They're feelings from our mom, from our mothers, as her energetic pattern is something that we absorb through the water in her womb, but also through the umbilical cord. So this is spiritual stuff. What our ancient Hebrews and what God kept secret from us, we would call supernatural. This is supernatural still. It's just what science calls energy, the Bible calls spirit. So this is a war, spiritual warfare, and it's right in the womb. There's an attack on our children right from gestation. So yeah. Well, thank you, Cynthia, for sharing, and thank you for trusting us. So, like, my goodness, like, girl, whatever you say to us, we're here to help you. We're here to help all of you guys. So, yeah. Yeah, so I'm just going to go through your, if you guys don't mind, I'm just going to go through the chat here and read. So Cynthia says, I have never heard sorry in 20 years, only once after his new supply dumped him and he yelled at me. Aw. Yeah. Don't let anyone dim your light. Okay, so Muhammad says, then narcs do stuff to try to put a hit on me. I never let myself hate because of them. Amen to that. Aw. So, codependency, says Andrea. Yes. It's good to see you too, Vin. Okay, the narcs say they are sorry, but they don't know how sorry they are. Yeah. Worship who? The narcissist. We end up worshiping the narcissist, as we end up, when we're kids, we end up worshiping our parents, because our parents we are totally and completely dependent on. So Jesus is not my father. Really, Alexia? Okay. Well, he's my father. I was told by Narc X mother-in-law, you never let him be a father. I still can't get over that. Oh, wow. Well, see, narcissists only tell one side of the story. And that one side of the story is he's a mama's boy, sounds like. And he's always going to, have his mama side with him. So he's always going to tell just not the complete story. And it's a fabricated story. Look at me. I feel bad. I never got to. And it's like see, that's the thing. Narcissists will take one instance and they'll use that to cover every other encounter or instance that you have with them. So, say you guys are going out for ice cream and you're taking the kids out for ice cream. And for some reason, your child had, your ice cream too. And the narc said, well, they can have my ice cream too. And you as a mother said, no, that's way too much ice cream. That's enough. Like they've went overboard. They can't have any more ice cream. So it's just that one instance. And then the narcissist will say, you never let me share my ice cream. Or they'll run to their mom and say, Mom, you know what? Whenever it happens all the time, whenever we have ice cream, our children get to have a lick from her ice cream cone. But me, she puts a kibosh on that. She's always like, no, they've had too much ice cream. It's like, I'm always being singled out, Mom. That's kind of the story, right? It's like, oh my gosh. And the mother or the parent won't ask, okay, what's the other side of the story, So it's like they always go overboard into the extreme. And she blamed me that he ran off to have a kid and moved to another country. Of course she would, because her son can do no wrong. It makes no sense, right? And you just tell her, you know what? He's a grown ass woman, excuse me. He's a grown ass man. He can make his own decisions, and that's what he chose for himself. So he made his bed. He can lie in it. That'll shut her down. Yeah, my wife told me sorry once in 20 years. Yep, never get an apology. Don't expect an apology from them. He didn't want to go anywhere with me, just camping. Meanwhile, exotic vacation with new supply to places I asked him to go. Yeah, she probably paid. Yeah. Yeah, that's all they want to do is they don't see, they'll take trips with someone if it's convenient for them. And see, the narcissist took trips with this person, possibly, and it's more likely because he still had a use for her. Excuse me. But with you, he didn't want to take those trips because he didn't like how your happiness made him feel. Your happiness and joy was genuine. So maybe her happiness and joy that she is showing him isn't genuine yet. And they can sense that. Same demon, different meat suit. Yep. Yep. So, yeah, they can sit and quietly plot revenge for you to come. Yeah, because they too are, they get with, the narcissist does also, they're inviting us into a relationship with them because they are invested in how we make them feel. And we make them feel good at first because they're putting on a good show. But once they turn to who they truly are, then we start making them feel bad. And that's what they hang on to. See, they look to other people to make them feel good, but once the person starts making them feel bad, they have to leave. Yeah, so. Yeah. But the thing is that I want to stress is that we cannot keep addressing these people from the perspective of how we think. It's not helping us. It's keeping us locked in with them. They are not human. Their brains, science has taught us and showed us that their brains have developed differently. Their brains, according to, I'm going to speak for God here on this one, according to what we already know about God, according to what we know, what the Bible shares with us about us and them, good and evil. Science can show us that the narcissist's brain is developed to see and experience evil. Our brains had developed to see and experience goodness, righteousness. So our dominating nature of our brain is to see goodness, is to experience goodness, is to project goodness and light into this world. The narcissist is the opposite. So, now, like, when you know who they are, you do eventually stop talking about them because you stop feeling. You stop feeling and investing your feelings and your heart and your knowledge into them. Like, you start forgetting about them because it's like you now know who they are. They're not just possessed people. They're children that we could say are of the Nephilim race. They have the characteristics of the enemy. And they are of the Nephilim seed. They have chosen, well, they haven't chosen. They are who they are. And many of them know who they are and don't care. They think, see, this is the thing. They look human, but they're not human. Is a lion a cat, a domesticated cat? Is a tiger a lion? Is a tiger your pet Snowball sitting on your couch? Your little kitty cat? No, just because they look alike, just because they're similar in ways, doesn't mean that they are the same. That's why God says that the enemy comes in as a roaring lion. It looks like, a lion. Like we are called lambs and we are called lion cubs. Okay, because Jesus is the Lion of the tribe of Judah. So what does that make us? Lion cubs. And God says that the enemy comes in as a roaring lion. So Jesus shuts the mouth of the lions, right? So this is the parable or the situation, Daniel in the lion's den. When we're walking with Jesus, the enemy is shut down. But here's the thing. Because the narcissist looks like us and talks like us. Everyone starts out as a little lion cub. So we grow up together. Think of Simba in Lion King. But the narcissist is that one evil Uncle Scar, who wants to be top dog and like you can see the narcissism all over that character, right? That's the narcissist in our lives. And the flying monkeys are the hyenas of the savannah. So you wanting them to be somebody for you is not going to make them change. The whole entire lesson, no matter how long, no matter how many, the whole entire lesson in this life was to get rid of the rebellion that you had against God. How did you rebel against God? By ignoring yourself. You were taught to ignore yourself. You were taught to be mean to yourself. You were taught to, disrespect yourself. When you hurt yourself, you hurt God because you are a child of God. We read in scripture that Jesus says, when you give to the least of these, you are giving to me. Well, you're a least of these. You're a child of God. And I prevent giving to myself all the time. So I'm preventing God. I'm not giving to God when I prevent giving to myself. And here we're learning from other people who don't know themselves, who are up in their egos. Oh, it's bad to, have money. It's bad to, do this. It's bad to do that. It's bad to marry. It's bad to, what? And so we've become stagnant. And going back to the narcissist and looking at the narcissist and picking them apart 7 ways to Sunday is far easier than having to look at ourselves. And some of us have, picked apart the narcissist years after they've gone and they've been in other relationships, and we still refuse to take a look at ourselves. So it's easier to say, oh, they did this, they did this, they did that. I remember they did this. I remember. At some point, you got to start believing in who they are. You cannot humanize a narcissist. And going over the situation and going, yes, talking is good. But talking to release the pain, talking to understand, talk about the narcissist and talk about what they did so that you can understand who you are. Talking about the narcissist from the perspective that they're just a human being and they effed up royally. And if you're going to hang on to that for 20 years or 30 years or even 10 years or 5 years, whatever, then the lesson for you isn't being learned. This is your life. The life that you're living is not about the narcissist. It's about you. It's about preparing you for heaven. And to prepare you for heaven, we got to get ourselves living and thinking and doing and seeing from the perspective of heaven, from the perspective of spirituality. So, yes, this hurts, but we needed this. This is the only way that we could come up out of the brainwashing from our parents, from our childhood homes. And the brainwashing is to have sympathy for the devil, to have sympathy for evil, to have sympathy for pain. And that's got to stop. There comes a time in your life where you recognize you are who you are, they are who they are. And who they are, maybe you don't want to agree with it. I know I certainly didn't. But God is always right. You can try to prove him wrong, but you're just going to be proved wrong. He's always right. He never lies to you. He never lies at all. So if you want, go ahead. Go ahead and try to humanize a narcissist. it's not going to work. But stop dehumanizing yourself. You are a human. You are flesh, but you are also spirit. And God's word is teaching us to walk in the spirit, to talk in the spirit, to think in the spirit, to act in the spirit, in unconditional love. You are meant to unconditionally love yourself. You were somebody before the narcissist came along. So you came from narcissistic parents. Notice you came from, or you were birthed into this world from them or through them. But you ultimately, your spirit came from God, as we talked about yesterday, being in God's image. So they're the ones that have demons. You don't. They're the ones without Christ. You have Christ. You're the fortunate one. They are the unfortunate ones. And we act like they're the fortunate ones and we're the unfortunate ones. We act like, oh, because they've got all this money in the world and they've got all the accolades, they've got the doctorates, they've got the degrees, they've got the friends, they've got the good life, they've got the cars, they've got the house, and here I'm struggling, so I must be bad. We're supposed to think about our future first. We're supposed to think about heaven first. Is this heaven? Nope. So think about heaven first, and then we can, like, oh, I can use a car, I can have a car, but I know I'm not taking this car with me, so I'm just going to appreciate it, respect it, take care of it, and, because it's borrowed to me, it's on loan. It's not mine, it's mine as far as I can use it, and it's in my care on earth, but am I taking this car with me? No. You don't hold it in your heart like mine, my car. Oh my, no. Narcissists are like that though. They covet everything. And the only thing we're supposed to covet, well, we don't even need to covet. We have it. It's been given already. Heaven is our home. That's been given to us already. And with that, our inheritance has been given through Jesus Christ. We have that. They don't have the cross. They don't have the resurrection. The only thing the narcissist has is judgment. So yeah, they're going to be living it up on this earth, and they're going to be like, well, I might as well be who I am, and I might as well, hurt people because that's who I am, because I'm already going to hell. So I might as well enjoy my time here on earth, and I enjoy hurting people. So I might as well do it and have fun with it, because where I'm going, you know what? All I'm going to have is these memories. So I'm going to have fun while I can. That's their freaking attitude. I personally don't have memories stored up for myself on earth. Like, I have memories stored up inside of me, in here, in my heart. But on earth, I'm not thinking, oh yeah, I remember that time that I went treasure hunting and I was looking for gold in the ground, and I don't think about things like that. My treasures are stored up in heaven, as so is yours. How love has affected us, how unconditional love has nurtured us. I've got miracles stored up. Those are our treasures in heaven, the miracles of God, how we wake up every day still breathing. How we get to talk about God, how we get to, read the Word of God. Those are my memories, reading and writing for God and sharing God. And sitting with you guys and talking with you publicly or personally on the phone or in chat, like face-to-face conversations in our mentorship consultations. Like, man, those are memories where we laugh and cry together. Those are the memories that we're making. But the narcissist, yeah, I remember this one time. You notice their memories. It involves a car or a truck or some vehicle. It involves their first purchase or purchases of whatever they have. Like, you notice that they're always bragging about what they've got or what they did. Like, did in the way of something involving something physical and not from the heart. You'll notice that narcissists don't speak from the heart. They're superficial. You ask a narcissist, how does that make you feel? Well, what do you mean? I felt good. No, how did that? Like, I went on a date once, and this guy was talking to me how he was a teacher in, China. He was an English language school teacher, an ELS teacher. And he was there for 6 months. And so we went for a walk and we were talking. He's telling me all about that. And I said, well, how do you feel now that you're back here in Canada? Like, do you miss the kids? Like, how do you feel? He got mad. What do you mean how I feel? What a stupid question. Of course I miss them. And I was trying to probe deeper. Like, no, like, and so I was just like, well, what takeaway do you have from that experience? Like, what was your most memorable memory? Like, what was your takeaway? And he was like, well, I love teaching the kids. What more do you want from me? I was kind of looking for, like, man, there was this one kid, she would come up and, her mom was very thankful, and they would always come up and present me with an apple every morning, before school started, before the session started. Or, the kids they gave me this big goodbye letter with a card, and it was all signed and signatures on it. Like, they really appreciated me, and I really appreciated them, and I felt loved. They made me feel loved, and I loved everyone. Like, I loved my students. Like, they were so, like, in the culture, like, there was none of that. None of that. No taking away of, the different accents and how their laughs and how the way they thought, their culture was so unique. There was none of that. None of that. So when you ask the narcissist things, they're very superficial. And oftentimes we don't ask and probe more because just having a conversation, we're so desperate for conversation and a connection that the superficiality is all we see as it's making us feel good. And I'm thinking about this, like, right now with you guys. I'm thinking about this of myself, how lonely people would ask me, are you lonely? And I'd say no. But it sure showed in that narcissistic relationship how lonely I was, just, going on dates and meeting the narcissist for a little while, going on coffee dates. We would sit there. One date we had, and I hung on to this because we went out to a movie, and it was in a small area, small town. So, the movie theater wasn't packed, so we just sat there and talked in the movie theater. The movie ended at 10 o'clock, but we got out of the theater at 2:30 because we were just sitting there talking, and I'm sitting there and I was just, like, really enjoying the conversation, but it was all superficial. And I'm just, like, thinking now to myself, how desperate was I? How, like, I won't say desperate, but just how needy for connection was I, that, and it felt like we were, breaking the law because we're sitting there after hours, and the church doors were closed. The doors were closed, like you couldn't get in from the outside, but so we weren't locked in or anything. But it was just, I never did that before, so it was thrilling. But just sitting there for conversation, and I'm talking to you guys right now thinking, how desperate was I for connection? As I allowed myself to gaslight myself to feel like, oh, we're connected. We're having a good time. We like each other's company. No, I was giving him attention. He was giving me attention. That's all that was. And he was trying to get my attention to give him eventual sexual attention, if you know what I mean. But I was there for the communication. I was there connecting from the mind and the heart. I was just like, wow, no, it wasn't. It wasn't connection. It wasn't cool. I can see my ego gaslighting me, and I can see how desperate I was or needy I was for someone to validate me. That's all I was there for, but I didn't recognize that. And so I'm sharing this with you guys because 2.5 years later, I'm connecting with you guys. I'm connecting with myself. I'm at home connecting with God. And I feel so much more free than to. It's not freedom to depend on somebody else. It's freedom to depend on God, but to depend on somebody else for your own worth, that's slavery. That's bondage. And that's what God is getting us out of. It's actually jaw-dropping to observe the magnitude of how far-reaching the spirit of narcissism is. It's rampant, surrounding us. Exactly. We are like the 144,000, exactly. And if we want to change the world, we first have to change ourselves. So that's why we have been awakened to narcissism. Some of us before COVID, but during COVID, because this past weekend and today, that we've already been through the brunt of it with our personal lives. So looking at narcissism worldwide, we're not surprised. And that's why I said we're the cleanup crew. We're here to help those who are coming out of narcissistic trauma, who have been devalued by the government, by society, in their personal lives, and as a whole. We're here because we know it. We've been given the truth. We've seen the truth. We've lived it too. So, yeah, I am completely surrounded by these evil beings. It's freaking scary. Yeah. Yeah. I venture out for food and to teach my beautiful students. Amen to that. Me too. And I go for walks in the park by myself. Like, well, not by myself, with either Scarlett, but we take God. Like, either way, either I'm by myself or with Scarlett, we're taking God with us and we talk about God. But, I mean, this world is, I think we're gonna see crumbling. We're gonna see the world crumble under the truth of narcissism. And we're here to show that narcissists are not people. They look like us, they talk like us, but they're not us. So that's what I got for you guys today. So thank you for joining me. If you guys want to, we will be back here at 10 o'clock in the evening for another live video, another different topic, still on narcissism. But this has been enlightening for me, so thank you very much. I appreciate it. Serial daters, exactly. Yep. And that's not what we're into, you know. we're in it to win it. We're in it to spread the love, unconditional love, and forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we've made and forgive our fellow brethren, and move forward. We're here to make the world a better place, and we're it. So thank you. If you guys want to talk, and Joe, if you're listening, please get better. If you guys want to talk, there is a link in the description of this video. We'll just talk, and I'm here to give you a new perspective, a different perspective. That's it. Not here to tell you what to do. And if you guys want to support this channel as we survive on your donations, as we are here twice a day, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 o'clock in the evening, Eastern time, please see the link in the description of this video. And we will see you tonight. Did somebody come in? Oh, hi, Sonia. Nice to see you. Hello, we're just signing off. But, we'll be back here at 10 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, 10 o'clock in the evening. And we'll see you soon. I love you, everyone, and God bless. Stay safe.